Okay, here's the top 3 of my list. Hopefully my water will last long enough. Number 3 is another one infamous for a bad twist. Roger Ebert, when reviewing this film, noted, "At the end, there's a plot hole that not only is big enough to have a truck driven through it, it actually has a truck driven through it." Excuse me. This is an extremely disturbing movie from France. It has just brutal graphic violence and sexual content, so like a number of these, definitely not a children's movie. For those of you who are older and think, oh hey, I might want to see that, you've been warned. I know my viewers are smart enough to think, oh, okay, well, you gave a warning, so I'll keep that in mind. With other people, though, it's irritating when you warn someone, oh, this movie is horrible and disturbing, and then they watch it, it's like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be horrible and disturbing. Like, really? You had no way of knowing that, huh? Well, enough background. It's known as high tension and also switchblade romance. Who knows why, from 2003. There's this young woman named Marie, and she goes to visit her friend and her family to stay over for the weekend or whatever. Well, while she's there, this killer comes in, and he just brutally kills her friend's parents and I think a brother. They kill the friend's family and take the friend hostage, so Maria's going to save her friend. So the killer goes about continuing to kill people. Finally, it seems like Marie has killed him and saved the day. Then it turns out Marie was actually the killer, and the guy we had been watching kill people never really existed. It was all her the whole time. Huh? Oh, also, in doing a little research for this video, I learned that the movie has been accused of ripping off this novel that a famous author wrote. There's a notification. The difference is, or a big difference is, the novel doesn't have the same ludicrous twist that the movie does. Ludicrous being another word for ridiculous or nonsensical. So someone asked the author, hey, this movie is similar to your book in a number of ways. Are you going to try to sue them for ripping you off? And he said, no, because the movie's so bad, I don't want to have my name associated with it. Because if I sue them, they'll say, oh, this author sued them for... He said, I don't want my name associated with that. So, number 2, from 2009, Splice. Splice was a horror movie about these scientists working with genetic experimentation, because that always goes well in horror movies. Their experiments don't go well. They create these 2 creatures, a male and a female, and then the one ends up killing the other one because the female, I guess, kills the male because it suddenly turned into a male and it got jealous of the other male and killed it. So, not off to a good start. So it's a male scientist and a female scientist, as well as at least one assistant. The female scientist decides to add her own DNA to this creature, so it results in this creature that starts out kind of like some weird chicken-looking thing, and then it grows to be more human. It's like this weird human bird-looking hybrid with a tail with a stinger, a little like a scorpion. The female scientist becomes abusive, which I believe was supposed to reflect that she had a bad upbringing. I believe we're supposed to feel sorry for the creature, but then, and this is disturbing, it killed a cat. It wanted a cat, and then when it got one, it stung it to death, and it looked happy for doing it. So all my sympathy ended there. I guess they were trying to have commentary, but no. Once you kill some innocent animal like that, you lose any sympathy with me. The scientists amputated, cut off the creature's stinger. I guess we're supposed to, oh, look at her treating the creature like it killed a cat. I don't care if the sorry, I'm well no, I don't know if I shouldn't apologize for being outraged that happened. So not apologizing for that, I'm apologize for getting into to that too much. So the plot twist, this is going to be a little tricky because I cannot actually say what happened or explain it in detail. It's not that I don't understand, because I understand very well what happened. It's a children's channel, and I feel this would be too graphic to go into detail when I know children watch my channel, so I'm going to try as best as I can. Okay, here we go. It seems like the creature is dead, so they take it into the woods to dispose of it. Well, it turns out it's still alive, and it's now turned into a male. Who knows why that keeps happening to their creatures. It kills one or two people. Well, it kills two people and is eventually killed, but before being killed, it attacks the female scientists in an especially terrible and traumatic way. That's all I can say about that. And I was unlucky enough to see this scene on television, and I was just disgusted by the entire ending of this movie. This is the second time in which I say there's no defending the plot twist, because you know, the filmmakers are are highly acclaimed. A lot of people talk about what great filmmakers they are, and I'm sure they are in other movies, but, well, of course, they're not the ones who wrote it. So, the director and producer, they're not the ones who wrote it. I just feel like there was no reason for this. I think the point of the attack was, oh, see how genetics and mistreating your offspring, see how bad that is? But the entire movie had been saying that. So again, there was no reason to do this. I know I'm not the only one who thought the plot twist was terrible, and that is reassuring that other people say, oh, this was disgusting and unnecessary. So, let's just move on, because I'm just very uncomfortable with the whole thing. Excuse me. And, not to be insulting or belittling or anything, but I question anyone who would say, oh, all right, that was a great twist. Also, forget it. I refuse to say anything more about this movie. Okay, number 1, drumroll. The Sea of Trees from 2015. Again, some more unsettling content in this. So the plot is, this guy recently had his wife pass away, and he feels so sad and miserable about this that he decides to go to this forest. It exists in real life, but I don't want to talk about it or give it any more publicity than it already has. This forest in Japan where people try to end their lives. He decides to go to this forest and end his life. Well, he meets this other man who also wants to end his life, and they decide to help each other. They talk and get to know each other, explain their pasts. The other man tells him about, oh, I have a wife named such and such and a daughter named so and so. So, eventually the man gets out of the forest, but the other man disappears. So it turns out the other man was actually the spirit of his dead wife, and the names of his wife and daughter were actually the man's wife's favorite color and season. Sure, because that makes sense. I learned about this movie from an article. I saw someone said, oh, The Sea of Trees has the worst plot twist I've ever seen. I thought, oh, really? Let's see. I read through and thought, oh, yes, I agree with that. There it is, the stupidest plot twist I've ever heard. It could have been done so differently. It's good to send a message of, oh, people care about you, and they don't want you to do anything. They don't want you to do anything to hurt yourself. That is a good message, but it could have been done so much better. I'm not really sure there's anything I can add other than a repeat of, huh? Oh, also I said that movie and another one called The Forest are the, in my opinion, the second worst things ever to be associated with that particular forest. So there you go. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video with good twists sometime. We'll see. So yeah, there we go. Nope. There we go. That's it. So have a blessed night, everybody.